All of us together. Something works about it. It's a great group.
Tip is the character that I play. She's very sassy.
I am prepared to accept your traditional gestures of human gratitude.
Our tradition is to punch you in the nose. Hold still.
Your gratitude is implied.
Oh, who I voice, he wants friends so badly.
Good morning. Hi, guys. Hello.
Through the course of the film, he finds that he can find friendship in the most unlikely of places.
Lucy is obviously a mom. Tip is the most important thing to her.
I play the dumb bad guy.
It was a good idea of me to make all passwords password. It's so easy to remember.
The Boov are hilarious. They have a million legs. And the best part is the dancing. Shake your boob thing.
My hands are in the air like I just do not care.
It's the first time I've ever done something like this. I loved the story, and it really made me want to do it.
I just hope they have a fun, enjoyable experience and leave with warm feeling in their hearts.
Okay, pee break.
Ooh, I too has to break pee. Do not eat the blue mints! Thankfully, there is a large bowl of lemonade. Do not drink the lemonade!
Dreamworks Home.
Look at these delicious fruits.
Hi there, I'm Andy Erickson, and I'm a story artist here at Dreamworks Animation. My job is to help bring the characters you see on the screen to life. Today, we're going to draw some of our favorite characters from the motion picture Home. Feel free to pause, rewind, or fast forward if I tend to go too slow or too fast. Let's go ahead and get started. Hello again. We're going to go ahead now and draw O from the movie Home. And O is interesting because he is shaped sort of like a marshmallow. And since he's not human, he's an alien, he does not have regular feet. He has pods for feet. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. The way I start O is I usually start with, he's sort of just a big circle for his head. And I'm going to draw some construction lines here that'll help me later as I'm drawing, and this will help me with the placement of some of his features. And O also has a little bit of a cheek that comes out. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of loosely draw in his head this shape here. So building off that circle and the cheek, I sort of get this sort of shape. And then I'll come down here, and I like to think of O as sort of a big marshmallow. He just has sort of this body that leads sort of into this marshmallow shape of a sort of a cylinder. And again, I'm putting another construction line which will help me with the placement of some of his clothing. So all the Boovs have a tunic that they wear, and on the front of their tunic they have a big swirl. It looks like a big cinnamon roll, and I like that shape, and it's repeated a lot throughout all the designs and all the Boov. He has this little tunic that wraps around his body, and all the Boov have a little sort of circular swirly shape on their chests. So now we'll get to the O's feet, and O's feet are fun because they're pods. They're not like regular feet, so he doesn't have toes or anything. They're more like little marshmallows. So these little pods we sort of have on the bottom here. And that kind of gives me the overall construction of O. And then I'll go ahead and put in his arms here. And his arms sort of put on his hip, his little hand. So O is a happy character, unlike some of the other Boov, and he's got a large mouth that expresses that and big eyes, and he's always happy to see others, and I'm going to draw him waving since he's so happy to see others. So put his little fingers poking in the air here. And then kind of get his features on, going back to these construction lines, is first of all I'll draw, sort of just draw these lines. And what I'm doing, I have a button here that helps me to undo. So if I make a mistake, I can actually undo the line that I just drew if I'm not happy with it. So if you see a line disappear, that's just me pushing that button. And then I'm going to place his eyebrows in here. We'll go ahead and place his pupils so they're looking at us. We can fill those in. So O is interesting because, and like all Boov, he has a large mouth. And it's fun to draw it because he's always smiling, always happy, and he's got a big tongue, and it makes the character really fun to draw. He's got like this nice big smile. He's a happy guy, like I said, so we'll go ahead and throw his mouth in here. And he's got this big tooth up front. It's always fun to draw. Kind of a big, looks like a big piece of gum or hard candy or something. And he's got these teeth down here at the bottom. And then we'll throw a couple lines in here to show where his tongue is. And then you can kind of just fill in here his mouth to show that there's some depth there. Now the Boov don't have ears, they have what we call nostricles, and they usually just curl up on the side of their head, and they're also like a cinnamon roll as well. And those kind of lay on the side of his head, and we kind of just, I draw them sort of just like little cinnabuns, or little cinnamon rolls, I should say. And there's one on this side as well. So then you can just kind of go back over and sort of clean up or redefine any lines that you want to make clear. And another thing I like is I like to repeat this little swirl shape, and I put him down here on his pods. They're kind of like the little wrinkles in your skin. Maybe one on his elbow there. And like I said, you just kind of go back over and redefine some of your lines to make them clear. And of course, if you're doing this with paper and pencil, you can go back over with a darker pencil and erase out these construction lines if you don't want them. And that's it. That's pretty much O. Hello again. Now we're going to go ahead and draw Tip from the movie Home. And Tip is interesting because she is one of the only human characters in our movie, which makes her a little bit more difficult to draw. But we're going to go ahead and start drawing Tip by drawing a circle. Just to get a general shape going. And I start with a couple of these construction lines, and these construction lines will help me place some of the features on the character later. So I divide it in half this way, and that'll help me get those features in, and I'll come back to that in a second. And Tip also, she has a nice little cheek that comes out here. And this is sort of the overall head shape. When I start with that circle, it kind of has a heart shape to it here, kind of down to the chin. And then from there I'm going to draw her neck, and then I'm going to draw a series of sort of ovals, and then these will help me place her torso. I'm going to draw a center line here because this will help me place some of the clothing that she wears. And then also I'm going to draw another circle down here. This helps me with the bottom part. Also draw a line. So as I'm drawing the circles, I start to move down the body and put in ovals for the torso and another circle to indicate the pelvis and tubes for the legs, just to get a basic construction of what the figure is going to look like. And these things just help me sort of get the mannequin look to the character, to really get the volumes. And I'm just moving down, and I'm just thinking of drawing through. I'm thinking of these shapes. I'm going to throw in her feet. Her feet are sort of just these U-shapes here. And then her leg comes down. And notice how I'm kind of curving this way and then curving this way. That just helps with the design a bit. And then her other foot, which will come out here. And then Tip is very independent and very confident in what she does. So let's see, we're going to throw her arm out here. We're going to put it on her, kind of behind her back. So she's got this one here. And then her other arm, we're going to put down here as if she's talking here. And for her hand, I'm just going to kind of do a wedge shape for now, and we'll come back and redefine what that is later. A big part of Tip's look and personality is the fact that she has curly hair. And to indicate the hair, I first draw a huge circle just to get the placement and the size, and also the fact of the volume of it. And then as I go in, I draw varying sizes of circles, big, medium, and small, to indicate those curls. So I'm going to draw a circle around her like this, and that'll just help me define the volume of her hair. So that's sort of the overall construction of her. I'm thinking of these volumes, I'm thinking of the shapes of her arms, and I'm thinking of these as sort of cylinders and tubes, and that just helps me define her shape. Now I'm going to go in and start sort of the details. So to get her eyes here, I'm going to draw her eyes on this line. I'm going to make this eye a little smaller than this eye, since we're at what's called a 3/4. So this will be a little smaller. So one thing Tip does as a character, she's constantly having to explain things to O, and he doesn't understand. So when I draw her, I like to put the eyes in the mouth in such a way where she may be explaining or is a little exhausted from having to explain things to O all the time. And then I'm going to have her looking, I'll have her looking up this way. And just moving the eyes kind of gives a bit more character sometimes. And then for a nose, I'm going to draw a little circle, and that will just sort of help me define it. And then a little nostril there. And for the mouth, she's a happy gal, so we're going to throw her mouth in here, her upper lip. And it's a little hard to see because I've got all these construction lines here, but we can go back and erase those later. So we're going to keep those in there to help guide things. And then here we're just kind of going into the mouth with some teeth and fill in there. And it might, like I said, might be a little confusing with all the lines, but we can go back in there later and erase those. And then on the side here, we'll put her ear. And then we'll go ahead and put her eyebrows. And I'm paying attention to these construction lines. Those help me place the eyebrows in the right spot. I want them to make them feel like they're wrapping around the head here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start to put in her hair. And her hair is just curly. And as I'm going to simplify the hair because I don't want to draw every single curl. And as I do this, I'm going to vary the shapes and the size. So I'm going to go like medium, big, small, and I'm going to do this all the way around and try to vary the size of those to give the indication of curls, just to keep it interesting. And she's got the curls that kind of come down in front of her face and her other ear sort of on this side. So as I'm drawing Tip, I will put construction lines on her body to help me know where to place the clothing. She generally wears a hoodie, and the hood rests on her shoulders, and those lines help me define that. She also wears capri pants, and that will help me define where those cuffs on her legs will go. And she either wears tennis shoes or ballet shoes, and those lines will help me define what those forms are. I'm going to just indicate here the hoodie wrapping around. You can see I'm using these construction lines to help me find the center of where that hoodie would rest on her body. And then notice down here I've got this, which will help me with the waistband. We'll put a couple lines to indicate where that is. Then also she's got some pockets on the front. And again, these lines just help me know where to place these features and these details. And then around this arm, she has the cuff of her sleeve, so we'll indicate that. So as I'm drawing the hand, Tip is always trying to be helpful to O, and I like to draw it in a way where she's trying to explain something to him in a helpful manner. And then her hand, we're just going to vary a little bit, put that little finger up, and then indicate the other fingers. And then, of course, we'll put her thumb in here. There we go. And then she wears little capri pants, so we'll put and just indicate that she's wearing her pants, and she has, I always sort of gave her these, she has tennis shoes, but she also, I believe, has some of these flat ballet slipper-like shoes, so you can kind of indicate those as well. And she's always explaining things to O, and O, of course, doesn't understand everything, so I tried to draw her sort of explaining something to you, because that's what she does, at least to O. So now at this point, I can go in and you sort of just redefine some of the lines that we started with. I'm going to go ahead, though, and erase some of these initial construction lines, and we'll see if we can't get it to be a bit more clear, like I was saying earlier. So we can erase some of that initial circle that I put in there, and take some of these things out. If you want, you can always take out the lines. A lot of times I like to leave them in just because it helps define the forms and helps keep the volumes. So you don't always need to erase them, but if you want a cleaner drawing, it's not a bad idea. And then, of course, if you erase too much, or if you feel like you've done too much, you can always go back in and redefine some of the lines. So like here in her mouth, we kind of lost that a little bit, so we can sort of make that a little bit clearer. And that's it for tip. I hope you enjoy. Hello again. Now we'll go ahead and draw Pig, who is Tip's cat. And Pig is fun to draw because he's got a lot of girth to him. And I first start Pig with drawing sort of a pentagon shape. Like I usually start a lot of characters when I draw, is I begin with a circle, which just sort of helps me give a general shape and volume of things. And I put a couple of construction lines down as well, and this will help me determine where some of the features will go later. So when I usually draw a character, I always start out with a circle, but Pig's a little different because his head is shaped more boxy-like, more like a pentagon. So off of the circle, I'm going to build that pentagon. Now, Pig's head is a little different in shape. It's kind of got a boxy shape to it. It's kind of a squarish shape. So off that circle, I'm just sort of going to build this sort of, I guess that'd be a pentagon sort of shape. And that's kind of how I start him. So Pig is called Pig for a reason. One is that he has a lot of girth to him. He's a kind of a chubby cat. So I want to make sure that we keep that volume and give him a nice amount of weight to him. I'm going to sort of just draw in his shape, which is sort of just a big oval. And it's important to draw through when you draw, so I'm going to kind of complete that shape into the head. And it's okay, you can always erase those lines later. And then his legs sort of just come off his body here. These will be his feet down here. And he's got a couple of these toes here, about 4 toes. And they're just kind of little circles that overlap one another as you draw. And then his hind leg, of course, will come back here. It's sort of the same with the front feet. He's got about 4 little toes there. And probably the biggest reason that Pig is called Pig is because he has a curly tail like a pig. And when I draw that, I like to think of the curly tail as a stack of donuts. So we're going to indicate that by, it's almost like stacking donuts on top of each other. So that's the curly tail that's on the back of him. So going back to the face, I'm going to draw another circle inside here. And this was sort of his muzzle. And he's got a little nose. It's just sort of a little triangle that kind of sits in between this intersection where these lines meet. And then he's got a nice smile that comes off. And these are just sort of lines that loop up. And I like to have his mouth open. And that's just another sort of, another little half circle underneath there to indicate his mouth. And if you want, you can put little teeth in there and his tongue, and then you can always darken it in to give it some depth. And then a little line here for where his chin would be. Now going up here to these construction lines again, this is where his eyes would be, and he just sort of got these circle eyes, and they're big, so these nice sort of large eyes. When I'm drawing a character, sometimes I like to shift the eyes to one side or the other, looking up or down. It just adds a bit more character to the character. And I'm going to put his eyes looking off to the side. When you do that, it kind of gives a little bit more character to the character. And he doesn't really have eyebrows, but I like to put them in just because it helps with the expression. So we'll just sort of indicate some eyebrows in there. And then of course his ears are just sort of triangles that sit on top of his head here, like that. You can draw the inside of them. And then since he's the kind of cat he is, he's got these little this little shape here that kind of defines where his eyes are right here. And then on the back of Pig, he's got like this spot, which kind of comes down the side. And this is good because it helps define the volume of the cat. So I like to indicate that on my drawing just to give some sense of volume. And then at this point, I kind of just go back over it and sort of redefine where things are. You know, you can darken some of the lines to give it more volume and define the shapes a bit more. And again, his little curly tail. And maybe just go back into his eyes a little bit, really darkening those pupils. So at this point, once you're happy with where your drawing's at, you can actually go in and start to erase some of these guidelines. So I'm going to go in here with an eraser, and you can just sort of start to erase these construction lines. So I'm going to just take some of these out, which will help us see a bit more of the cat. But it's important to have these construction lines at the beginning to help get everything in perspective and to make everything look right. So once you erase some of these things, you can kind of clean up your drawing a little bit. So whether you're working on the computer or working in pencil on paper, you can go back in and do that. And then if you like, then you can, if you happen to erase a little too much, you can always go back in and redefine some of those things. Like underneath the chin, I erased a little too much there. And I always like to put a little thicker line down here to give it some weight. Like so. And then you can always fill in the nose if you want. And then one of the final touches that I like to put on Pig, or like on any cat, are the whiskers. And so when you draw those whiskers, make sure you vary them in size and in length. So big, medium, and small. Think of that when you draw them in. So if you want, you can put just a couple of lines and vary their size. Maybe a small one, a large one, and a medium one. And you can get some variation on those whiskers there. And that's Pig.
When Boov first did come to Earthland, humans' music was something new and very unpleasant.
This is not even music. This is just noise.
But it turns out, humans' music has a strange effect on the Boov.
Ah! Involuntary physical response. What is happening to my body?
It's called dancing.
Boov do not dancing.
I can tell.
I have experienced many different types of humans' music and dance. But now we has got a special new dance for sharing with you.
Shake your boo thing. Shake your boo thing. Shake your boo thing.
On three. 1, 2, 3. On three. 1, 2, 3. On three. 1, 2, 3.
My hands are in the air like I just do not care.
1, 2, 3. Give Daddy some sugar. Give Daddy some sugar. Sugar, sugar, sugar.
Good day to you all, happy humans people. Welcome to O's Party Planning Tips for Best Party Ever.
Now here is a boob who knows how to do his job.
I am to being your host, O. Today I am to sharing my best advices for to having a super fun party for Boov and humans people too.
This is gonna be sweet.
The first thing you are to be needing is the best invitation ever.
You are all invited to a party.
Use lots of color and balloons and color and fun pictures and color. And do's not forget to tell everyone how to get there.
Turn right at the Big Dipper. Third planet from the sun. Come if you like to have fun.
Then send your invitation to all your friends.
Come hard.
But top tip, if possible, avoid accidentally inviting dangerous alien monsters who will destroy your whole planet. That is less fun than you will want to have.
I shall send an Evite to you. I have sent directions to my living space.
Next, you are needing decoratings. I am liking to make my own decoratings from papers and paints and humans' hand coverings. But you can use balloons if you do not have any humans' hand coverings.
What fun at a party.
The next part is to being my favorite part. You will need the perfect party snackings. I am liking to serve all the best recipes from my cookbook. Just be sure you do not cook the recipe too long. No one is liking a crispy recipe. Other delicious Boov treats include sporting balls, flat vinyl discs, and human automotive lubricants. But be warning, we do not enjoy blue mints or lemonade.
Oh, do not drink the lemonade.
I am also liking to serve humans food for my humans friends.
I have brought you delicious snacking. Chewy plastic ring.
Like the frozen sweetened bovine secretion that humans, people, and cats like so much. And you can never going wrong with a gigantic bowl of party nuts and bolts. You also want to look your Boov best. You can have a friend help decide on your most perfectest looks.
Hey, letting me see.
Whoa! Not
Give
yet.
to me, give to me. You are a worker of miraculous transformation. Who is this Boov? I do not know.
Now just wait for all your humans friends and Boov friends and animal friends to arriving.
Group hug. Oh. High hand touching. Yeah, give it here. High hand touching. High. You are too slow. High hand touching. Oh, no, that hurt.
And no party would be complete without my best friend Kyle. You should definitely invite in my best friend Kyle.
Hello, friend Kyle.
And that is it. Your hard work has paid off, and it is time to shake your Boov thing.
Is it time to pick it up a level?
Yes!
Drop it like it has a high temperature.
Enjoy your best party ever.
What is happening to my body?
Awesome party, oh!
Now I am prepared to accept one of your traditional gestures of human gratitude. My hands are in the air like I just do not care.
I'm so excited on this Blu-ray to be able to share with you some early experiments that didn't make it into the final film. The joy of doing animation is you get to storyboard, sometimes very simple drawings, and you get to record it just amongst myself and my Dreamworks coworkers. And by experimenting with close-ups and long shots and characters and scenes, you get to find your movie, the tone and the characters and the comedy of the movie. We have several different scenes that we want to share with you that didn't make it into the final, but show the process of animation and the way that we looked at Adam Rex's book and thought through ideas on turning it into a movie. One of the joys of working in animation is you get to play. You play with storyboards, you play with your animators, you move and act out scenes, and sometimes you get to put a whole scene together with storyboards and some rough animation just to see if it feels like it works, if it feels right for the movie. We spent a lot of time playing with different openings of our movie, and I want to share with you a very elaborate version that we decided ultimately wasn't quite right for the movie, but we still think is really fun. We call this scene "What a Dump," because that's what Captain Smek says in the opening moments. This is a version of the movie where we tried to open with Captain Smek instead of opening with O, and we tried to see everything from Captain Smek's point of view. Now, it's very funny, and Steve Martin is brilliant in the scene, but the problem is he's not our main character. And even though he's very entertaining, we decided ultimately that we needed to open the movie with O, our Jim Parsons voiced main alien character. But this is awful fun to look back and see what home might have been if Captain Smek had opened it. Now, one more thought. We played a lot with Steve Martin voicing Captain Smek to find the best version of the captain. This version you're about to see, he's a little more of a bad guy. He's a little tougher on the other Boov. He wields that shusher a little bit, frankly, like a jerk. But we had a lot of fun putting it together. It's got some storyboards and some rough animation. Let's look behind the scenes and see a version of Home very different from the one that's in the ultimate movie. Let's watch What a Dump.
What a dump! Seriously, Tony, is this really the best we could do? Are there not like billions of planets out there? Look at this place! 2/3 of it is flooded! I wanted a pool, but come on! It obviously leaks. Tony, I smell mold.
But Captain Smek, sir, our enemy the Gorg do not even know this place exists. They will never find us here.
I like it! Attention all Boov! I has found us a new home! Boovia! we will be safely here forever.
You're the best, Captain Smack!
Thank you very much. Oh, now, Sandra, let's get this party started.
Yes, Captain!
Attention, all Boov. Prepare for planetary occupation. Landing teams, prepare for your function.
Hello, native savages. I am so sorry to be interrupting your electronic entertainment for to change your lives forever. I am Captain Smek, leader of the Boov, and now you. Good news! We are moving in. Howdy, neighbor. Congratulations! In a few minutes, you are being transferred to your new cozy confinement bins, where you can to live forever as free-range humans.
Prepare for landing. Testers to their stations. Oh, I am tester number 1. I could just get to...
What tester number are you?
2.
2! I am 1! We are 1 too! Perhaps when this is over, we can get together and share our experiences.
Sure.
Yes! Captain Smek tells us that... Oh. Captain Smek tells us the native savages are quite backwards. They are lucky that the Boov have come to set them free.
Down and clear.
Tester number 1 to position.
Oh, that is me! I am Tester 1. By the way, what does a tester Boov actually do?
Launching expendable Boov.
What? Oh!
Testing atmosphere in 3, 2, 1.
Useful. Well, the atmosphere is useful. Well, the atmosphere is useful!
Yeah, I'm alive. I am breathing.
Tester Boov survived. Huh? That almost never happens. Deploy ground Boov. Disengage planetary gravity. Yeah!
Let's take a look at yet another interesting way we experimented with opening the movie Home. We call this one Hide and Seek because it looks at what it was like for the Boov to constantly be running from the Gorg. And even though it is very much before the start of our story, it gives a little context to how we would meet O and how we would meet the Boov on their galaxy-wide run from the Gorg. Now, in this storyboarded opening, you're going to hear some from Jim Parsons and some from myself and my teammates here at Dreamworks voicing the characters. You're also going to see more very rough drawings, some of them not much more than scribbles. But it's a really fun way to imagine how the Boov and the Gorg existed for long periods of time before Captain Smek eventually found Earth. Enjoy Hide and Seek.
Do you think they are gone? I think they might be gone. Should someone look? Oh, very humorous. Good-natured ribbing from fellow Boov.
Oh.
What is taking him so long?
The Gorg are gone!
Captain Smek has saved us again!
My fellow Boov! My fellow Boov! I have saved us again!
Woo!
We are safety from the Gorg!
Yes! High hand touching!
We did several versions of the opening, playing around with who should be the first character that we meet. Well, we finally decided that, it was important that that main character of our movie was the first character we meet in the opening scene. And what better way to meet a character than to see where he lives? What is his life like? How does he decorate his room? I know I learn a lot about my friends and family when I look at how they decorate their room, what posters are on the wall, what stuffed animals are on the bed. And we thought it'd be really fun to meet O with his own environment. So this is an alternate version of the opening in which we fly through the Boov headquarters and through their mothership and ultimately see the little tiny bubble apartment where O lives. Now, ultimately, we decided that O's problem, what he craved and wanted the most, was friendship. So in spite of the fact that we boarded and liked this opening of the movie, it didn't really allow us, when he was all alone, to show that what he was missing was contact with other Boov. And so the version that ends up in the movie begins with O surrounded by other Boov. But this little experiment of seeing and meeting O in his apartment is still a sweet version of the main character. A lot of it is storyboarded and very rough, but you are going to hear a version of Jim Parsons voicing O in this alternate opening we call O's Apartment.
Today is best day ever. Moving day. For who? Answer, the Boov. Who are the Boov? Answer, best species ever.
All Boov settlers, please report to your assigned transport. You are allowed one carry-on.
When you moves as much as Boovs move, you gets very good at packing. Fortunately, that is one of my extra best talents. Almost forgot. Captain Smek is our brilliant leader.
Run away!
He is best at running away from our worst enemy, the Gorg. Planet after planet after planet. He has even capturing a great trophy from the Gorg, the Shusher. Why for does we call it the Shusher?
Shush!
Ow, pain. Excusing me. Oops, my mistake. Excusing me. Sorry. Now we has discovered best planet ever for to hiding. The Gorg will never finding us here. Our new home.
In all of the experiments we did with how to open the film, one of the very first ones was one of our boldest. We thought, What would it be like to come into our movie and see there were no humans left? To have the camera explore the empty streets after the Boov have come and thumped up all the humans and taken them off to Australia. So this very early version of our opening of the movie includes storyboarded drawings of the camera looking around an empty Earth, and then gradually we reveal that the Earth isn't empty, it's full of these strange little purple creatures called the Boov. Now, as a very early scene, this is one of the roughest storyboarded scenes that we're going to share with you. It's got some very, very scribbly drawings, but also some beautiful drawings about what it would be like to have the streets of major cities in the world empty. We call it Empty Earth. Enjoy a very early alternate opening for Home. One of the challenges of making a movie based on a book is what parts do you put in the movie and what parts do you have to leave out? A book is actually very long and elaborate compared to most movies, so you have to make some decisions of what to snip. We played for the longest time with a whole set of scenes based on Adam Rex's True Meaning of Smek Day that took place in Florida. So the scene I want to share with you is a very early exploration. You're going to see drawings instead of animation. You're going to hear some of the voices from our actors and some that were done by myself and my teammates here at Dreamworks. So you don't even have the real actors in some of these scenes that we're going to look at. But it's really fun to look at what might have happened if our characters went to Florida. So let me set up the scene for you. Our characters are flying along, and Tip has actually kicked O out of the car when she gets shot out of the sky by Kyle, the Boov cop that's been pursuing them. Now we have a chase in the swamps of Florida where Kyle, O, and Tip are all trying to find or avoid each other. Enjoy the swamp chase from what might have been the film Home.
Oh, look!
Whoa, what's that?
Ta-da! I have found us to the Florida.
Wow, we made it.
You're gonna find my mom.
And I shall be safety.
Can't wait to see her.
Look, there they are. People.
Oh no!
Boov?
Oh, here. I am sighting fugitive Boov in vicinity formerly known as the Florida.
Thank you, fellow Boov.
What's going on?
I do not know.
You said this was the human's preserve.
But
you promised me my mom was here. You tricked me.
No, this cannot be.
You brought me here and you knew there were no people.
I deny. I wish to see no Boov here. I am the one who will be arrested.
You lied again!
Why are you kicked? Wait! I have been to falling out. Wait!
Uh-oh. Ah! No, 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 no! Whoa!
Ha!
Fugitive Boov and stray humans girl. Seize forward move to... Stray humans girl, move away from fugitive Boov to avoid erasing.
Fugitive Boov? Why should I believe you? You've already erased all the people in Florida.
Oh, untrue. It is simply that we needs the Florida now.
Why?
Because I said so. Just move humans somewhere else, where there's nothing we needs. Most comfortable.
Tell me where all the people are, and I'll give you the fugitive Boov.
Simplicity. Everyone knows where Hot Smeck is. We placed all peoples in what you used to call...
Tucci! Hello? Wherefore do you be?
Oh, dishonesty.
Hello? I am here. I am looking for you. I wish for you to reply. Hello? Bertooty Tucci. I ask again, wherefore do you be?
He's trying to kill you.
You are yelling into my nose, and this is silly.
You are only one who has such dislikes.
Hold still for erasing. Oh,
Kyle.
Yes, he is trying to kill me.
Running.
Follow the example I set.
I have done my duty. Although it probably will haunt me.
Immediately after our characters have this crazy hunting scene in the swamp, they find themselves relieved and exhausted, and maybe, just maybe, a moment of friendship. I'd like to share another scene with you we call the key fight, in which Tip and O have escaped Kyle, and they're walking calm and relaxed, thinking that their problems are over. Well, unfortunately, O really wants to get away and wants those keys, and Tip really needs O to help her get to Paris. Let's take a look at another storyboarded scene with a little bit of voicing from our own animators and a little bit from our actors. We call this moment the key fight.
It's safe.
Ow, pain!
Why did that work?
Scanners only detect to a thickness of 1 life form. At first, we could not even tell the difference between humans and other animals.
But we fixes that. I am
thanking you for pushing me very hard to the ground to save me from Carl.
You're welcome.
Although it was very hard.
I said you're welcome. I'm sorry I kicked you out of the car. And thanks for hiding us.
Well, of course. That is what friends do.
I faced the erasing to find you.
Even though I wants to leave right away.
You did that because you're my friend?
Yes. Also, you had the keys.
You mean these keys?
Yes!
These keys that I'm holding too high for you to reach?
Yes!
These keys that if you had them, you would have totally dished me here?
Yes!
Hey, give me those back!
Oh, I must go to a place with no boob.
I need to find my mom!
Oh, discomfort!
Tell me where Hot Smack is.
I do not know! The only place that has that knowledge is Boov Central Command at the Great Antenna.
Then that's where I'm going!
Well, it is not where I am going, and you will not find it without me. I'll pay.
You better tell me where it is. Oh!
No, Great Antenna is danger, so going to there is opposite of smartness. I am speaking the English at you. Why far do you not understand me? Oh!
Did you ever think that going to the Great Antenna would be great for both of us? I could find my mom and you could fix your hilarious mistake.
What is wrong with your brain? Boov run away. I am Boov.
Well, I am not Boov, and we're going because you promised.
And you will tell me where it is, because if you don't, I will tell the Boov exactly where you are.
You are giving me no choosing again. This is not a sustainable friendship model.
So, what is the Great Antenna?
Join the Boov as they turn gravity on its head in an eye-poppingly addictive puzzle game like no other. Play as your favorite characters from the film. Explore tons of levels as you pop your way around the world. Boov Pop. You can download it on the App Store.